Hello, this is Buffy from Boston Mountain Homestead. I hope you will enjoy this slideshow of the property. The property is almost 2 acres, and these are the photos in the listing that we saw when we were looking for our forever homestead. On this property we have a mobile home, an older one that is not livable, with a cover over it, and it makes a carport also, and it has a pond and a little shed. We also have an outhouse that's in the woods. Behind the property is this canyon area that looks out over the mountains. I took this picture in the driveway looking up the road. I also took this picture looking from the driveway up to the house. I just thought this was a pretty picture of the area next to the driveway area. This planter was built next to the mobile home, and this area is so full of rocks that you can't hardly dig in it, but we managed to be able to plant my blueberry bush that we transplanted from our other house. Here I'm standing at the end of that old mobile home, and I'm looking out towards the shed that's over by the pond, and this is a picture of the pond from that shed also. This is a picture of the old trailer that we're turning into a shed, and the carport area that's covering it. We originally wanted to move this older mobile home out of this spot and be able to put our mobile home in it, and then use the carport area as a porch and a cover to it. So we started going to work. The most immediate things that we knew needed to be done to this property before we could move our mobile home here was to replace the meter loop on the pole, because we thought at first that it was only a 110 meter loop and we needed 220. So we contacted the electric company and had them come out and look at it, and they told us it was a 220 meter loop, and so we were thinking we wouldn't have to replace it. But when we got in to start putting in the lines, the meter loop was froze up and we could not use it. We needed lines from the water and the electric lines from the meter loop to the place where we were going to put the mobile home, and then the water line attached to that and get it to where we're going to have the mobile home. My husband did all the dirt work, and we had a water line up to the older mobile home in that water spigot, but then we had to replace it because it was deteriorating, and we wanted to make sure that it held water and didn't leak when we turned the water on at the main. Once we accomplished getting all the lines put in for the mobile home to be moved, we hired somebody to move our mobile home, but when they came out, they found out that our I-beam had been bent in a previous move, so we were not able to move that mobile home off of our parents' property. We ended up on a search for a new mobile home, and we found this, the one we're in now. It was a repo, and we had to get it financed. Even though our other one was paid off, there was nothing we could do about it. Once we got this mobile home moved onto the property, the next step was we needed to figure out what to do about the toilets, because there was no septic system. So we researched it and we decided on a composting toilet, and my husband built this for me. The next project on our list was to get a porch built. My husband worked in construction, and they were giving him all the leftover lumber and cold pieces of 2x6s from the job he was on, plus a whole bunch of plywood. So we decided that we would build a covered porch with that wood, and so that's what we're started on. My husband knew that I had struggled with getting in and out of the mobile home with the steps, because the property slopes at a strong angle, and so he decided that he would take the porch out to where it hit the ground so that I wouldn't have to step down so much. The wood he got wasn't treated, so the first step was every time he cut a piece of wood to put on the porch, he would hand it to me and I would stain all sides of that wood in order to protect it. So as we're building this porch, we had to make a decision on how big to build it. Plus we were working with the materials we had with the minimum amount of items that we would have to purchase. The only thing that we ended up purchasing was the shingles and the 4x4 posts that were the taller ones so that we could put the roof up. And we also had to purchase the brackets to hang these joists. We put this porch together with screws so that it was easier to go together and we felt like that it would be stronger. Like I said before, my husband worked in construction and he now works out of town, so my son and I were the ones that were having to finish up the roof on this build. We tried to take pictures of it so that my husband can see the progress along the way. Once we got to the shingling part of the build, my husband was home on that weekend and he helped us do that because unfortunately my son and I are afraid of heights and we didn't like getting up on that ladder. Once the porch was finished, we ended up having to finish up the skirting before winter came. So this is a picture of the skirting that we were putting together. We recycled some skirting from the other mobile home that we ended up having to tear down. My mother had sold her property, and so the older mobile home that we were going to move wasn't able to stay on the property, so we ended up having to destroy it. So we saved as much of the skirting from that mobile home as we could. And then this mobile home also came with skirting, so we ended up piecing skirting together to finish it all. Well, this is the end of my slideshow. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you, and you have a blessed day.